you're doing well. I guess just to start, obviously it's going to be the first time you play against Mississippi State this season. What do you see out of Mississippi State? And just yeah,
Tough team. Very tough team. Tough on the glass. They got three guys that almost average 2 rebounds or more on the offensive glass. So, and they also have a dynamic can get in the guard and Hubbard. I mean, he's small in size, but he's got a big game, big time game. So, um, they're a good team, top 25 team. Um, uh, what can I say? I mean, it's the SEC. It is what it is, man. Uh, there's no gimmies, there's no letdowns, there's no. You got to take what you want in this game, man. And in order to do something you've never done, you got to get something you've never gotten. You got to do something you've never done. So we're at that mindset right now. Is that it's Mississippi State, but we're trying to accomplish a goal.
yeah. And Coach Kyle and I mean everybody on the staff has really talked about how much you guys have just really enjoyed coaching this group. Just what about this group has made them so enjoyable to coach this season? And yeah,
In life, man, in life, and we call the court the box of life, right? And what happens on the court also happens in life. And so in the box of life, there's there's going to be ups, downs, hardships, triumphs, and it's always about the response, right? As a parent, as a basketball player, as a human being, as a brother, as a dad, as an uncle, it's always about the response. And so the thing that I love most about coaching this team is the response, right? We've been in a 12-round heavyweight fight, and we've got hit with a bunch of different knockout punches, and we've always gotten up and we've always responded. Like this team is continuing to hunt, this team is continuing to fight, and that makes it fun. That makes coaching. I mean, listen, bro. I say it all the time. Calm seas does not make a good sailor, right? It's a good sailor is when there's a perfect storm, you know, and when there's a perfect storm, let's see if you can sail through that. It's easy to sail a boat when there's the seas are calm and the water is calm. That's easy, right? Can you sail when there's a perfect storm? And we've been through somewhat of a storm, and we're sailing through it.
and then last one for me for now, just we're starting to see some guys kind of announce that they're planning on entering the portal if their seasons have come to an end at this point. Just as you guys kind of prepare to look into the transfer portal, just or maybe kind of what you're looking for and guys that you're trying to get out of there, and just how do you kind of navigate that kind of recruiting?
We've kind of been working on the portal in the parking lot, so to speak, because obviously our goal is to, keep the main thing, and that's complete this season and complete this season on a high note. Our goal is to win the conference tournament and make the NCAA tournament, and so we have some goals that are on the forefront of our minds. But at the same time, obviously, it's our job and it's part of the business that the portal we've kind of been working on in the parking lot, so to speak, on the side of everything else that we're doing. So we hear about some of those guys and some of those players who may or may not be entering the portal, and we've got a watchful eye on them from afar until that time comes. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But we're kind of in the mix a little bit in terms of the portal, but it's just in the parking lot right now. It's not an immediate thing that we're dealing with. Connor.
Yeah, coach, against Vanderbilt, you guys in the first half, Vanderbilt out rebounded you at the offensive and defensive end. Second half, y'all rebounded them 22-10, outscored them 16-0 in second chance points. Just how big is it for you to get that kind of effort from all seven guys on the glass?
Well, hopefully this game, we won't have that effort until the second half. That needs to be a constant effort in the first half because this is a team that we're about to play in Mississippi State that really attacks the offensive glass. So we were able to respond, right? Again, it's always about the respond. We talked about that at halftime, and guys stepped up to the challenge and respond. And as you can see, the one who really accepted that challenge was TB. I mean, TB flew around like his motor was unbelievable. He flew around and tracked down balls way out of his area. Just the motor and the effort. We're going to need that times 10 in this game because they have a couple guys that played with an equal motor and effort, and maybe I don't know if you can say someone is as equal as athletic as TB, but someone that has some above average athleticism. But we're going to need that effort. Happy that we were able to respond because we needed to win that game. And so from the first half to the second half, we were able to respond in a couple different areas, and that was one of them. And so we were able to get a big time win that was much needed.
Then I wanted to ask about the latest on Adu Thero. Obviously, he's missed the last handful of games. Do y'all expect him to be back? Is he going to at least be with the team tomorrow, or what's the latest on him?
To my knowledge, nothing has changed. That would be obviously another question for our medical staff. But the SEC report will come out very soon. So, but to my knowledge, there's been no changes in his status. Jackson.
Hey, Chin, you mentioned Josh Hubbard. I think he over 60%, 75% of his points are either threes or free throws. What's the key to maybe cutting off a guy that can hurt you outside and get to the free throw line, attack the paint?
We got a couple different things schematically on the defensive side that we're going to do with him. We're going to make it tough for him. We got to make it tough. We're going to make it tough. We're going to make it hard. We want his tough twos to be tough. We want his threes to be challenged. And if he's above the three-point line, our heels are above the three-point line. If his toes are above the NBA three-point line, then our heels will be above the NBA three-point line. We're going to respect his range, his ability to get off shots quickly. We're going to respect his ability to drive the ball and get fouled. So we're going to try to guard him without fouling. What gave us, sort of a rough draft is number one, Edwards, Vanderbilt. And we talked about in our meetings and today is that very similar. Obviously, Hubbard, got to respect him. He's done it in this league before. You would give him the edge if you had to pick one or the other. But very similar in a lot of the things that they do in terms of how they score the basketball. So part of our scheme is going to be how we guarded Edwards because we just guarded him, so it's fresh on their minds. And we did a pretty good job on Edwards, who averaged 18 points a game. We were able to, neutralize him, and Hubbard averages the same. It's hard. It'll be hard to stop him from scoring, but if we make everything tough, make him earn everything, make him take tough twos and no four-shot threes where he's just wide open and there's no confrontation, which is what I call it. He's got to be confronted. There's got to be confrontation every time he has the basketball.
Billy's taken some more outside shots recent games. Just the ball's kind of found its way to him, and he's been open and he's taken them. He's not making them at a high clip yet, but how important is it for him to stay vigilant with that and just be a threat from the outside for spacing and everything on the offense?
We don't want to take any way of Billy's confidence. So if Billy is confident and he has an opportunity and an open look to take the shot, we want him to have the freedom and the confidence to take that shot. It's hard to play in the gray area, right? You either are aggressive or you're not aggressive, right? You can't be passive in this game. And if Billy is confident and he has an open look, and he is to take it but to shoot it with confidence and execute his shot. And so if he does that, TB will go offensive rebounded if he misses.
Regardless of how the next at least two games go, what you guys have done in the SEC, do you as a coaching staff feel like you should have a resume that's good enough to make the NCAA tournament?
It's a 12-round heavyweight fight. The fight's not over, so we still got a couple rounds left, and we're in it to win it. We're not satisfied with where we're at. We're not going to leave this up to anybody, any committee or any bracketeer or bracketologist, right, to decide our fate in terms of whether we're in the NCAA tournament or not. What we do have is an opportunity in our building to play a quad one team, a ranked top 25 team in our building. And we can only control what we can control. And our goal right now is to beat Mississippi State.
Thanks, Chin.
Eric. Chin, you guys have done a really good job of responding this year whenever there's been any sort of issue, whether it's team wise or whether it's individual wise. Trevin Brazil is kind of the latest example of that. When you look at his game, the game that he had against Texas, the game that he had against Vanderbilt, how do you get him to have that kind of performance, not necessarily have a double-double, but have that kind of performance again against a team like Mississippi State?
Just give him the freedom and the space, the air and opportunity, basically. And he's gotten that, and he's getting that, and he understands that he has that. He understands that he's got the air, he's got the opportunity. It's up to him to take advantage of the position that he's in right now, right? And he's taking fully advantage of that. You're right. And his last game, if he could just build off of that, this thing can go a long ways. If he could just build off of that and remember that motor, that engine, and play with that kind of passion, that kind of athleticism. There's not many people in the country that can do some of the things Trevin Brazil can do. And we're fortunate enough to have him on our team. We're happy that he's hung in there with us as a staff. And after the Vanderbilt game, I thanked him personally because he could have went in the tank, right? And because the air and opportunity wasn't there, or whatever the case may be. But he's been a real professional, and this is what professionalism looks like, right? Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And when your number is called, you answer the bell. So again, I want to thank TB on air here.
No, is there something to be said where it seems like in just watching him, the more involved he is offensively, that's when you see him play better on defense. That's when you see him really start to become a vacuum and clean the glass. Is there something to be said about for some players, not even specifically Trevin, where if they're making shots, for some reason it starts to affect other parts of the game, which I know you guys stress, even if you're not making shots, you can still affect the game in other ways. But what is kind of the correlation for that between?
I'll tell you that trend is a lot more easier when you're making shots. It's easier to say to rip and run around and dive on the floor and all of that. Like, you want your players to do that, but when you're making shots, it's a lot more easier, right? So you're right. I think that trend is worldwide. That's across the board. When guys are making shots, they feel more involved. So they're probably apt to do more for you on the other end, as long as they're involved offensively. Right? We like to give guys the freedom offensively so that we can get them to do those things. And so I think that you're right. That trend is kind of across the board, and that's no different from TB, no different from Z or any other player around the country. If you're making shots, they'll be more apt to give you a little bit of dirty work.
And last one for me, you guys, it was announced you guys are going to go play in Chicago. You're going to go play Duke on Thanksgiving. You being a guy from that area, what does it mean personally to you to get to go take Arkansas and be a part of that in your hometown?
It's always a amazing, blessed opportunity to go home and to play in the building that I grew up watching basketball and watching Michael Jordan and being a part of that whole dynasty. It's always a pleasure and a treat for me to have the opportunity to now coach on the sideline in that building. So I get a chance to go home, be around family and friends, and my family and friends give me a headache, right? Because now I got to figure out how I'm going to get 1,000 tickets. I don't know how I'm going to get 1,000 tickets, and someone's always left out. But when the game tips up, it's the game, right? And so try to handle the other stuff way before preparation for that game so you won't have to deal with it. But for me, it's a blessing. It's a play Duke, obviously. That's why Coach Cal is here, and that's why our staff is here, so that Arkansas can be in those kind of games, in those kind of arenas and atmosphere. That's why Coach Cal is here, because you get those unbelievable, very few opportunities.
Anything else for Coach? All right, Coach, really appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.